Hey, what is up mortals, it is Robo Celestial here, and before we get into today's video, I would like to remind you all that this is a new channel, please like, comment and subscribe to get this channel going. Part 2 of What If Deku Had Boosted Gear from DxD. Deku walks home from all the chaos that happens today and is exhausted. He falls on his bed talking to Drake. Deku says to Drake, remember that promise you made a few years back? Drake says, which one? Deku replies, the one that you said when you're ready you'll tell me more about yourself and your powers. Drake says, I guess you're ready, then I'll give you 3 questions. Drake says, I was a fearsome dragon known to have powerful flames that can incinerate anything, including gods, and will never go out till they burn the opponents to ashes. I was feared by the gods, devils, and fallen angels. In my prime, I had enough power just from sheer force alone to destroy the world several times over. Deku says, wait, so you were able to kill gods and they feared you too? I didn't know those existed. Drake says, well, I originated from a different universe than yours where there was gods, dragons, devils, and fallen angels. I was indeed unstoppable until I ran into Albion, the White Dragon Emperor, which could withstand my flames. Because of him, I stopped using my flames and compete with him, developing the ability to boost and transfer power to others. Deku asks, if you were that powerful, how did you get turned into a gauntlet? Drake says, well, I and Albion were foolish, so caught up in our fighting, so much that we attacked the 3 leaders, which lead to our bodies being destroyed and our souls sealed into scared gears. Deku asks, what are sacred gears? Also, if you and Albion got sealed, does that mean there's another person out there with gear too? Drake says, yes, I've been alive for thousands and thousands of years. I've been with the strongest and weakest host. You are correct, every host that I've been with has fought Albion and his host once, or on several occasions. For some reason I feel like there isn't one in this universe, but that should not put you or me on ease. We must prepare if it ever happens. Now, scared gears were made by the original God of the Bible, who created the sacred gears as part of his system to enact miracles on earth. There are many different types of scared gears, each with their strengths and weaknesses. Drake says, you have one more question, ask wisely. Deku says, is this gauntlet the only thing you can do or is there more? Drake says, yes, there's one major thing you haven't unlocked, a balance breaker. Every scared gear has a balance breaker. Balance breaker are evolved forms of sacred gears using their full powers. Balance breakers were a bug in God's creations of sacred gear which can upset the balance of the world, hence getting the name balance breaker. Your balance breaker is called scale mail, which gives you dragon armor, increasing your attack, defense, abilities, and speed. It allows the user to boost without the 10-second cooldown. It's capable of repairing itself from any sort of attack. Deku asks, how do I unlock? Drake interrupts and says, that's 3 questions, now go to sleep. Deku falls asleep and his conscience ends up in his sacred gear. A couple of hours later he wakes up in a seemingly infinite white room. Deku asks, where am I? Drake says, your conscience went into your scared gear, now you're in it. He walks around running into a bunch of people sitting on stairs with brown cloths. Deku walks up close and takes a look at one. Their eyes have no light, almost like a void. A person from behind says that guy was one of weakest Red Dragon Emperors who died in battle against the White Dragon Emperor. Deku turns around seeing a woman with long white hair wearing blue and says, who are you? Drake says, partner, that's Elsha, the strongest female Red Dragon Emperor. Elsha says, I usually hide, but I decided to not this time around and saw you, the newest Red Dragon Emperor. Deku asks, since Drake won't tell me about my balance breaker more, can I ask you? Drake says, hey, that's cheating. Elsha says, sure, what question do you have? Deku asks, how can I unlock my balance breaker? Elsha says, usually the first time it's hard to do, but after is easier to do. It will activate when you're at a big disadvantage or by your emotions. Drake says, yes, my powers and the balance breaker react to your emotions. Usually, the first time when you active your balance breaker it's incomplete. But be careful, if you do you'll make active your Juggernaut T drive, which is very powerful but hard to control. The Juggernaut drive has killed the previous user and the past few have mastered it. Elsha says, even though you're not from our universe, I have a gift for you that will help you a ton, but only when you master your balance breaker. The dream starts to shudder. Elsha says, well, it was fun talking to you, but looks like we must go. Deku says, wait, and the dream ends. Deku wakes up and looks out, it's morning outside. He asks Drake if there's any way he could train which would help him master his balance breaker once it comes around. Drake suggests he does tons of stamina training to break his limits to further how many times he can boost with his boosted gear and balance breaker. Drake says doing stamina training and physical training is a good way to help your body have more control over the balance breaker, which in turn makes it last longer. Deku is confused about where to start and calls All Might. All Might picks up the phone and says, "Hello, All Might here." Deku is fanboying over how he's calling All Might for a while until he asks if he had any ways to increase his physical self and stamina. All Might says, "Yeah, I do come by the beach." Deku says okay and hangs up. Drake says, "That All Might guy must be really something, I hear you, and other people always talk about him." As Deku is dressing up to head as he says yeah, because he's the strongest and is the #1 hero that brings justice and smiles to everyone when they see him. "I want to be just like him." Deku meets All Might at the beach and All Might says, "I think if you move this trash off the beach it will help." Deku starts over the months cleaning the beach every day with some weightlifting, running and some other activities on the side too. The day of the UA entrance exam arrives. Deku prepares and starts heading out to the site. Deku asks Drake, "With all this training, how many times do you think I can boost?" Drake says, "I'm not sure, but probably around 40 times. He runs into Bakago, which starts blabbing away about how he's better than him. Deku ignores this and heads to the site. Drake says, "That kid, he's your childhood friend, right? I don't see how you can be friends with someone that cocky and arrogant." Deku says, "Yeah, but he has his good side too." Deku arrives and they put the students in separate sites. They explain their goal is to destroy robots and save people for points in a certain amount of time. Deku actives his boosted gear must say BOOST at. They go. Deku races off while his gauntlet says boost a couple of times. Deku runs into a robot and breaks it with ease, but another robot comes from behind and boost. Deku charges a dragon shot which completely destroys it. After saving people and destroying robots, he sees a girl stuck underneath rubble, which he lifts up the rubble and gets her out. Deku sees people running away and looks up to see a huge robot. He tells the girl to run and she does. Deku right now has boosted 26 times before the encounter with the giant robot. He jumps up, boost, and boost, punching the robot, damaging it, but the impact of the punch makes the robot fall over and hit ground, unable to move. Time runs out and everyone clears the site and goes home. Deku waits a couple of weeks and gets a letter that he made it into UA and got the best score. The next day Deku walks into class and runs into the girl that he saved and she gets uncomfortably close. She said, "Hi, my name is Ichoko Uraraka, thanks for saving me back there. You were doing so well out there too." Deku introduces himself and meets the rest of the class. He talks to Uraraka more, but Anazawa says in a rude voice to stop talking and sit down. Drake says that guy seems like a depressed douche. Anazawa stares at Deku and says, "Was that you that said that? If so, I'll gladly send you to the dean office." Deku, afraid of getting in major trouble, Drake says, "I'm the one who said it." Everyone looks at Deku's arm and says it can talk. Drake says, "What, you've never heard of a talking dragon? Look at his face, so priceless," and laughs. Anazawa has none of this and disables Deku quirk, but it doesn't work because it's a mutation quirk. Anazawa tells Deku to go sit down and tell the class that they'll be doing quirk assessment.